Sage Forsaken here, and today we're looking at the epic heroes from Marvel, the Guardians of the Galaxy ones specifically. I got Mantis, Groot, and of course Drax. I had the ship and Star-Lord before Christmas. So we're just going to kind of look at these figures to see how they look together. So one great thing about these figures is they're all pretty much in the same uniform. So it does make the team really pop as a team. Unlike if you were looking at them in other figure lines and everything from the original movies, things of that nature. These epic heroes do have pretty good articulation. They have knees, elbows. They swivel and bend typically. So I don't like how the knees are on these figures. Typically they have this like knee pad or whatever, but the legs do go out sideways, they go forward, and they go back a tiny bit. They can do splits. They have, a little bit of head movement, but not much, especially the females with the hair here. So that's Mantis as far as the figure goes. And we did a review on Star-Lord in the past, but let's go ahead and look at Mantis with her guns in her hands. As you can see here, Mantis comes with two pistols or two, blasters because they're in space. So that's always cool. The rocket figure did come with the ship, but his articulation is a little bit different, so we're going to look at it real quick. His arms pretty much have the same articulation as other epic hero figures in the fact that they go up, they spin around, they have elbow joints, no wrist or ankle joints, but Rocket doesn't even have knee joints unlike the other figures. He does have his tail, which is great because it actually does help him stand up when you put the tail on the ground, as far as the tip of the tail touching the ground, just so you know. It doesn't look as good that way, but it helps him stand up if you don't want him falling over in your display cases. Drax, I'm a little disappointed in the fact that this is obviously, if you look at them side by side, the same exact body as the Peter Quill body. In other words, they're just using the same body and they swap the heads out. Otherwise, Drax would be a little bulkier and Peter Quill will be a little thinner. But they kind of went in the middle ground here so that they could have a reuse of parts. I don't really blame them for that. This is a kind of a affordable line with limited articulation but good articulation, kind of mid-range articulation really, but they don't necessarily look right side by side, because even though they're about the same height, Drax should be a lot bulkier and Peter should be a little thinner. Anyway, Drax does come with his two knives, daggers. I keep seeing these guys and I think of if you put some Cobra heads on these guys, you'd just think they were part of Cobra and take that chest piece off. Anyway, Groot, obviously not in a uniform. This is the bulkier teenager, different Groot. He is bulkier and he is than the other figures. He has pretty much the same articulation, but the sculpting does limit his articulation here and there for the shoulders and everything, but it does look really good as far as there's a little bit of paint apps on him to make him look a little bit like he's got moss or something on him. Obviously he'd look great with some dry washes to bring out more of that detail, but his legs do bend and knees and swivel just like the other figures pretty much, so you can do some pretty good posing with him. He comes with a gun, like a blaster. And when I opened this thing, it was already kind of bent. And at first I was like, why is his guns bent and like a rubbery compared to the other figures? Their guns are pretty solid, but it does help him get a grip on it. And I figured out you could actually weave Rocket's hand through it and have him grip the little peg on the gun too. So you can actually have Rocket on Groot's shoulder, with the gun and everything, if you peg his right hand into the back peg of Groot. So actually it works out pretty good that way. Okay, and let's look at some comparisons here. Here are the female figures. Here's a Mantis next to a Marvel Universe figure and a Core figure, so you can see size comparisons. Pretty much the same size, a tiny bit shorter, but that could just be the figure should be a little bit shorter. As far as Drax, I think he should be bigger than these guys, especially bigger than the Boulder guy here. So it's kind of the letdown that he's not, even though they're all kind of 4 inches. Groot actually being a little shorter doesn't bother me that much in this scene because, of course, Colossus is a massive figure. So it's not really needed, to, comparatively. And then this isn't the adult Groot. Anyway, it's time to cue the slow motion and the epic music because this is where you see all the Guardians of the Galaxy all together and ready to fight. If you like these types of videos, always like, comment, and subscribe. What is the figure you think they need to make next for the Epic Hero line? What Marvel figure, what, other Disney property could they make for Epic Hero line? If you like these videos, like I said, pour on the plastic. And here's a fastball special for you to end the day.